we're going to get started off with New South Wales and Gladys.
Yes, indeed. Gladys Berejiklian, she's the Premier of New South Wales. This is one of the biggest states in Australia, houses Sydney and a number of other big cities as well. So she, Mike, has resigned. This is the big headline today from Australia. Gladys resigns. Zero COVID, Gladys Berejiklian, otherwise known as the vaccine queen. She has tendered her resignation. Now, if you watched the UK column a couple of weeks ago, we actually foreshadowed that this may very well come to fruition, and certainly it has, if you remember. This was what we're going to call the cash for Cuddles scandal. And so Gladys was caught basically in a strange sort of scandal. This is Daryl Maguire, her ex-boyfriend. She basically helped him get a government grant, $5.5 million, I believe, to develop some sort of property deal for an organization he was representing or acting as a lobbyist for. Anyway, ICAC is the investigative regulatory body there that investigates corruption in Australia. They've opened an investigation, and of course, Gladys is the subject of that investigation. So really it was untenable. But let's just go back to MP Clive Palmer, who actually originally dropped this bombshell, but he added a little bit of extra zest to this scandal and connected it with the big pharma lobbyists who are, he says, are currently running things. Let's just review that video clip from Clive's press conference on September 14th.
They can't open their business because
I would say it's terrible.
Their Premier's telling them that the only way out is a double jab, and that's what they've been told.
Yeah, I'd say the Premier's lying to them. I'd say that she's under an ICAC inquiry, that a particular lobbyist in Sydney controls the Liberal Party in Sydney and has told her that the only way she gets out of that inquiry is if she pushes the double jab, and that his clients are AstraZeneca and his clients are Pfizer. That's what I'd say. Because she's, as I tried to explain to you, that she's being directed by a lobbyist in Sydney who's being paid by AstraZeneca and by Pfizer tens of millions of dollars to get these policies through to make sure the vaccine is pushed. That's why. You asked the question, I gave you the answer. And that's my personal knowledge. And I'm happy to make a statement here to police or to anyone if they want to know what's going on.
So that was pretty clear.
So Gladys, of course, is denying any wrongdoing. She's saying that she's being victimized here, she's been unfairly targeted, and so forth, and that she's given it her best effort, and she's proud to be the Premier of New South Wales. So let's just take a look at her press announcement this morning.
Tearful press announcement.
Very emotional for Gladys, but you know, a lot of virtue signaling, we're going to say in advance. But then we added a few clips from the last couple of months at the end of this press clip just to see if Gladys is consistent or not with her rhetoric, if the reality measures up to the rhetoric. Let's have a look.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to make a public statement and won't be taking any questions. I was advised late yesterday afternoon the Independent Commission Against Corruption will today release a public statement in which it will state it is investigating allegations made about me concerning matters relating to the former member for Wagga Wagga. As it is clear from the ICAC statement, the issues which it is investigating are historic matters that have already been the subject of numerous attacks on me by political opponents in the last 12 months. My only regret will be not to be able to finish the job to ensure the people of New South Wales transition to living freely with COVID. However, I'm extremely confident that whoever succeeds me will be more than capable to continue this job. Please give them your trust and confidence. We will come through this period stronger, more resilient, and appreciating what really matters in life. Please know that every day I gave it my all and worked as hard as I could to create a better future for our state and its people. I truly believe that New South Wales is a place where every person, irrespective of their background and circumstances, has the opportunity to be their best to make a difference. I want to be very clear. Life for the unvaccinated will be very difficult indefinitely. It would be extremely careless and reckless if anybody welcomes someone who was, if you're vaccinated. I mean, I'm even I myself would not want to be anywhere with someone who's not vaccinated. That's just my personal choice. And I suspect that once we hit 70% double dose, many private businesses might make decisions to say, I don't want anyone who's not vaccinated coming to use my premises or coming to use my services. Now, they're personal decisions, and it's all about choice. If you want to remain unvaccinated, that's okay, but don't expect to have the same freedoms that vaccinated people have.
Totally consistent with
all the way through
her rhetoric and what she really feels and believes. So this is a woman who's heading a major state in the Australian federal system, has absolute contempt for what she calls the deplorables of the citizenry of Australia. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? So this is a bit of a pattern that's emerging throughout the democratic West. So get a load of this, Mike. This was the Australia's Financial Review ran their power issue, special power issue. This was October 1st edition. And of course, look who's on the cover. It is Gladys herself, Gladys Berejiklian on the cover, most powerful woman. So they've estimated, Mike, that in Australia, the state premiers have overtaken the prime minister because of the pandemic in terms of the power sweepstakes. And Dan Andrews is there, and the other state premiers as well. So this was kind of the gist of this. This isn't a very friendly article as well. This publication's very critical, as we'll show you in a minute. But this didn't age well.
No.
So we're giving it the Tesco's Finest Award there. So look out for that block of cheese that might appear in a future UK column news episode as well. But look at what they said here. Not flattering at all. With the authority to shut down our biggest cities and keep millions trapped in rolling lockdowns, the premiers of Australia's most populous states have harnessed COVID-19 fear and loathing to become the nation's most powerful people in 2021. I like the person who wrote this. So I'd actually love to get a copy of this magazine if I can. I'm going to ask my friends down under if they can help out.
So what do you think are the possibilities? Is she going to end up in prison?
No, I think this might be drawn out, but this definitely takes the wind out of her sails because she was running basically point on this kind of the new booster campaign. But this does very much reflect, Mike, in the UK when Matt Hancock was kind of ousted for things unrelated to the, quote, pandemic. So he's kind of moved out of the way. He kind of did his job, and then he became a liability. And Gladys had been receiving a lot of criticism and a lot of hard criticism from the public and sections of the press. And globally, Australia is just really getting lambasted around the world for Dan Andrews' role in the Victoria State and Gladys's role basically persecuting the unvaccinated and so forth. So a lot of human rights campaigners are looking at this saying, what sort of a dictatorial regime are they running in Australia? So, and again, conveniently, she's quickly moved out of the way. So, but mind you, this corruption investigation is over a year old or just about a year old. So this is something that was on the books. However, if you take into account what Clive Palmer said, maybe Gladys wasn't pushing hard enough. Maybe they expected a second booster by now. Who knows? But maybe the pharma lobbyists from Pfizer and AstraZeneca weren't happy with the vaccine queen, Gladys Berejiklian.